Hello, my Chucky fans. Appreciate you clicking on this video. Episode 6 of Season 3 of the Chucky TV series just premiered. This episode, entitled Panic Room, I sat down, watched it, and man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm a little mixed on this episode. I'm not going to say it was a bad episode, but last week's episode, episode 5, was just a knockout start, jumping us back into this Chucky White House mayhem, and it got me really excited for the possibilities and where they were headed. And then this episode hit, and some things I really loved, while other things I was like, we're going to do that? Okay, I'll see how it goes through. I'll definitely get into the things I loved and didn't about this episode, but I don't want it to just be about my opinion. It is about you Chucky fans as well. Are you kind of like me and felt a little mixed on this episode? Or are you 1000% on board with everything that they're doing so far? Since this is episode 6, we only have 2 episodes left and season 3 is entirely done. Don Mancini recently said that he did pitch season 4 to the network, but they have yet to greenlight it. But even with me feeling mixed, I am still very much on board with season 3, and I'm curious to where things are headed, because you gotta admit, they are making some twists and turns every episode, and at least the story is moving forward. That's one thing I could always say for sure with the Chucky TV series. Although I might not love every decision the show makes, or sometimes the tone, man, do they continue to put Chucky in interesting, new, unique situations that only furthers the franchise, and for that, I really do appreciate the show. But okay, now diving into the specifics of season 3, episode 6 of the Chucky TV series, we open up with Henry going to visit his dying doll, where we see Chucky in a wheelchair. The wrinkly boy is not getting any better, and now he's desperate to put his plan in action, which is going after the nukes. While that's going on, it looks like the First Lady has found her dead husband eyeballless, and I do kind of hate that the show didn't give us her first reaction to her husband dead on the floor. I would have liked to have seen that, but either way, you can tell she's very much in shock and disbelief, and even Agent Price is still befuddled on what to do. He knows now this is a supernatural threat and is going to start putting things in order to try and tackle it, where they even get a bit of a helping hand from these ghosts in the White House, telling them that Chucky did it.
Who the fuck is Chucky?
Cutting us, though, into the title card sequence, revealing a grid showing off the nukes Chucky is hoping to launch. Love the title card sequence, like I do every episode. And well, aside from the ghosts, which we'll get into again, this is where the show also introduced another element that I was just slightly iffy with, bringing back Devon Sawa. I freaking knew it. You guys out there last episode had a lot of great theories, because I was surprised last episode that Devon Sawa bit the bullet. You know, he basically died early on, and I was like, oh, I thought maybe they'd save that for the final episode. But a lot of people in the comment section were like, you know, Chris, with all these ghosts popping up, he'll probably come back as a ghost. And you're like, ah, you're right. That's how they'll bring back Devon Sawa. And although he did make a ghost appearance this episode, I did not have it on my bingo card that the White House had President Doubles just lurking in the background to be used. What a cop-out, Don Mancini. He loves reusing actors that he's worked with in the past. It's just become a regular thing in the Chucky movies and the TV series. But man, does this just feel like an excuse to just kill Devon Sawa off again sometime this season. The explanation itself, I guess, kind of works. You know, I don't want to get into all the conspiracy theories. I'm sure there's going to be some in the comment section of, Chris, you know this is real, right? You know they actually do this. They've done it before, Chris. Chill out, buddy. But whether you believe this is a real thing or not, I guess that's something I could suspend my disbelief and go, yeah, okay, I'm sure there's probably some president doubles that look exactly like the president. But while their backup president is being prepared for a more natural death to reveal to the public, we see the trio get together with Grant for movie and a pizza at the White House, where Lexi and Grant do sing the song Don't Fear the Reaper, which I feel is just like a standard song that is used in movies and TV shows when a character is about to die, and this very much felt like maybe the swan song for Chucky himself this episode. But things are definitely not well in the presidential household. The mom is just trying to keep it together, desperately wanting to tell her children the truth while still trying to hold back the grief of her dead husband, and Lexi taking what she thinks is a perfect opportunity to just tell him the entire truth. There's a couple of good moments in that. I liked how Lexi brought up the whole, can we just skip over the teen drama where you get mad at me, we have a fight, and then you believe me later? Like, let's just move forward. Like, it's almost like talking to the audience. I'm glad they did that, and we didn't go through that whole phase. But with the teenagers all caught up and wanting to get on Chucky's tail, Chucky is putting his plan forward to get the president down in the bunker and launch them nukes. And you know, I will say this entire sequence involving Chucky and him going down to get to the nukes, I felt really worked. Yes, he still threw his jokes here and there, but there was also a lot of great one-liners and speeches that Brad Dourif threw out. A lot of people have been pointing out how Brad Dourif's voice this time around voicing Old Man Chucky really works because, well, Brad Dourif is aging himself. And I do gotta agree, along with the awesome old man looking Chucky doll, the voice is fitting perfectly. The first speech I really admired that Chucky let out this episode is when he shoots a Secret Service agent in the elevator and he starts to give off his thoughts on using guns.
You know, I don't even like guns. They're so fucking dangerous. And they're so impersonal. I was killed with a gun. But sometimes you're in a hurry, so...
Who would have thought Psycho Man Chucky is technically anti-gun? But this totally fits into his persona and reminds me of a conversation he had with Tiffany in Bride of Chucky.
A true classic. Never goes out of style.
But since Chucky has used a gun all the way back since Child's Play 3, it's just kind of nice for him to admit that he doesn't love doing it, but when he's just running out of time, he has no other option. Even when he went after the Secret Service agent and stabbed him in the eye with the pen, his little biology talk of, I just hit his frontal lobe, and now he's going to be able to feel this. It's almost like he's trying to pass down whatever crazy wisdom he's learned from killing people and just trying to give off that knowledge one way or another, which I feel is like a lot of things old people do. But to me, another highlight badass moment of Chucky is him in that bunker room walking on top of the grid of nukes with some red lights. Oh my god, so many red lights. I theorized whenever we had the trailer for season 3 part 2 be released and them hinting that Chucky was going after the nukes that maybe that would be a great way to end the season or even this universe entirely. Chucky actually nuking the entire world would put him on the list with the highest kill count of all serial killers, and it was just kind of nice to Chucky to verbally say that and acknowledge that's what he wants to do here. He wants to go out in a way where he will be remembered even in a world that doesn't remember. Even a little funnier when he decides to add the North Pole on his list of things to nuke simply because he just wants the surviving people to know that Santa Claus is dead. And this actually wouldn't be the first time Chucky technically goes after Santa Claus if you want to count the movie of Seed of Chucky. Chucky Goes Psycho. Looks like Chucky's got something against Christmas, man. What can I tell you? Bringing us to a final confrontation with the trio. Devin recording on his cell phone. I wonder if that footage is going to come into play later in the show or even in the universe as a whole. But also Lexi's conflict of wanting to get rid of Chucky because it's like, I need to know where my sister is at. And to me, I assume that's what's going to be the other 2 episodes is going to be about. But thanks to Fake President, he's able to foil Chucky's plans, get a good shot on him. Chucky does manage to still blow up the North Pole and probably accelerate global warming. So in a weird way, he kind of still killed us. Dying and dusting off Thanos style, appearing to be gone forever. Having the episode end with the spirit of Charles Lee Ray, the physical embodiment played by Brad Dourif, smiling at the camera with some red lights. Teasing like many of the other spirits in the White House, he still remains trapped here one way or another. Okay, so there's a lot to dive into that ending. For one, we knew early on that they were going to introduce the maker of the good guy doll this season. John Waters is set to play him, who also was a previous character in Seed of Chucky, the photographer. And now with this added subplot that basically anyone that dies in the White House, their spirit remains trapped in there, just roaming the halls. That's all you really need to be put into a good guy doll, is just the spirit of Chucky. So yeah, he of course is not dead for good. They're probably going to get that doll from the creator, put it into that Chucky doll, and try to find out where Caroline is one way or another. It'll probably also lead into another season of Chucky, since Don Mancini did say he already has an idea for season 4. But I don't know, even though this is a world filled with voodoo and like magic and stuff like that, these ghosts and apparitions feel so out of place for the universe a little bit. That's so odd to say, but it does. It feels a little out of place and like they're just making stuff up now. I did like that Price, the agent, was mentioning that, oh, you think this is the first time we faced a supernatural or paranormal threat in the US? And you know, I thought maybe that would have to do more with like the voodoo aspect, since we know voodoo exists in this world, but they're going to probably lean into this ghost stuff a little bit more with seances and calling up Charles Lee Ray the next episode. I don't know. I guess it'll work out fine. It's just having me slightly iffy. It is is a good excuse to have Brad Dourif at least physically present and do something, because he hasn't really done that in a while in the series. I mean, his body's long gone and dead. So this is one of those times where, although the things happening on screen aren't working for me, I do appreciate that you get to have Brad Dourif to do some physical work. So we'll see, man. I'm just being honest with my thoughts. I'm still loving the show, still loving Chucky. And like I said, even though I don't love every decision made, it is crazy how far we've come, and Chucky has gotten to the point that he almost nuked down the entire world. That's gotta say something. But that is episode 6 of season 3 of the Chucky TV series. I want to hear from you guys. What did you think of this episode? Your favorite moments, your least favorite moments? Is there any stuff that really stood out to you? I'd love to hear it all down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chucky Boy. Take care.